Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is Camila and today we are going through C202 of WGU's MBA program. Now if you didn't see my last video, I just completed C200 yesterday. I got my evaluation completed yesterday morning. I didn't start anything for C202, I just wanted to allow myself some time to rest because I was feeling a little sick. So I'm getting started on the class now. So this is my pregame plan for this class and it's based off the Reddit posts that I have been reading up on prior to starting this program. I'll link them down below if you haven't seen them. There's one huge Reddit post that people reference year after year, and then there's a newer one that actually was just released 3 months ago. If you haven't seen my last video, go ahead and check that out because I go through my entire experience of C200, now C202. Per the Reddit post, there's a no to pass video, which I found in the course resource document. I pulled up the course resource document, pretty easy to find, found the no to pass video. With the no to pass video, I'll go through it once. It's about 2 hours. I'll go through it once, no notes, just watching the video. Then I'll go through it again, take notes. Then I will likely tomorrow probably do the 4 practice questions that are also in the resource document so that I am able to go through and see if I learned anything from the videos. And then I will do the chapter quizzes as well. I might take the PA after doing the 4 set of practice questions. Apparently in total they come out to be like 2.5 hours. But then after that, I'll take the PA. I will then understand what it is that I maybe am lacking and need to brush up on, and then I'll do the chapter quizzes at the end of each chapter in the textbook. I have the textbook pulled up right now too. So that's my plan. I'm gonna watch the video now and I will go ahead and update you once I am done. Bye! Hello everyone. It is currently 11:14 at night. I got through 2 rounds of this no to pass video. The first time I just sat here, I watched it through on 1.5 speed, and then I went through and did some notes. Every single time I would finish a chapter, I'd go back to the e-text and I would do the end of chapter tests, the end of chapter quizzes. And each quiz, I would get a C. I'd get about 72, 78%. Chapters 5 through 8, I got B's on. I started getting 80%, 83, 84, 85, 88. Made it to the final quiz in the e-text, quizzing on chapters 1 through 14, and I got a 78%, 55 out of 70 correct. That's not the pre-assessment. Pre-assessment has 120 questions, and I was gonna take it right now, but I feel like I should probably go to sleep and let the knowledge sink in and then take it in the morning sometime. But goodness gracious, I learned so much through this class. I didn't know that I had all of these rights as an employee. I didn't realize that HR actually does work to retain its employees, and it's not just a means of ensuring that a company doesn't get sued, because that's what I thought it was. I had actually previously wanted to work in HR, but I never went through with it. Maybe it's because I was told you really value people, and HR doesn't value people, it values companies. But after reading this and after learning about HR, yes, they do work for the company and they do work for the leaders, but also they contribute to like succession management, which means you build up people in the organizations that work at lower levels and you train them in a way that helps them become leaders, and then you have a pool of candidates whenever leadership positions open up so you can hire internally. Like that type of stuff I would be super interested in. Anyway, getting back to the results. 78%. Not bad, not great. I really need to still do a lot more reading, and what I didn't do was the 4 different assessment videos where you go through, and they're about 2.5 hours long that I told y'all about. You go through, you do like 10 questions each, I think, and then the instructor talks through all of them with you and they answer questions as to how and why this is the right answer. I will say some of the questions in the e-text were a little bit confusing. That's all I have to say, honestly. I was a little confused. There's a marathon going on tomorrow morning throughout the afternoon outside of my house, so I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna do the pre-assessment. False. Backtrack. I'm gonna do those 4 videos, those 2.5 hour long videos. Then I'll do the pre-assessment and then I'll come back. I keep blabbering on, probably because I'm tired. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. Hello everyone. Welcome to today. Today is Sunday, December 8th. 4 p.m. Exactly 24 hours, 25, since I started the video yesterday and I started studying for this exam. I did my pre-assessment. Oh yes, I did. So this is my process of what I did. In the course resource document, they have a few videos that you can go through. In looking at the ones that I did, they have some tutorial videos that explains more about what each concept is, such as why do I look so dark right now? Made it lighter just in case it's too dark. It starts at chapter 3. It doesn't do every single chapter, but it goes through some of the chapters and it talks about the most important stuff, such as for chapter 3, it has a 2-minute video on protected classes. It has a video on adverse impact versus disparate treatment. It has the chapter 6 types of interview questions. For chapter 7, we go into Kirkpatrick's training evaluation model. Chapter 13 goes through unions, the Wagner Act, and the Railway Labor Act, as well as union models, right to work laws, collective bargaining, negotiation breakdowns. And then I did the 10 tricky topics pre-work questions. There's 10 questions and they're supposed to be the hardest ones, I guess you can do. There's the pre-work section and then you go into 2 videos. They break it up, so you go through 5 of those questions, the first 5 questions in the first video, the first 5 questions in the second video, and the instructor talks through each one and says why it is that they are that, as well as they go through the concepts in the beginning of the video, and they review the actual test answers at the end of the video. They have a 10 tricky topics post-work question assessment that you can do, which is what I did, but they don't give you the answers for it, so you do have to contact your instructor. I emailed her. It says that she's active and it says her office hours are right now, so I haven't gotten an email back. I don't know what she's doing, but I never got those answers back. I emailed her maybe 4 hours ago. Anyway, next things I did, as I mentioned to you all, I watched those 4 videos that have those practice questions and their review videos. So you go through 10 questions from chapters 1 through 4, and then you review the answers to the questions. I then did my pre-assessment, and yesterday I said that the pre-assessment had 120 questions. That is incorrect. It has 70 questions, just like the OA, but I was confused because I saw 120, but it was 120 minutes that you get to take the exam. Same with the OA. I passed. It says I'm competent. It says for legal and regulatory requirements, which is 13% of the assessment, I am exemplary. For strategic human resource management, which is 14% of the assessment, I got approaching competence. For some reason, that confuses me so much. The role of human resources management in business and strategic human resource management makes sense, since yesterday I was saying that human resources doesn't only focus on the company. I mean, yes, they're focused on like employee growth and stuff like that, but it's in order to benefit the company for retention strategies. So it's a little manipulative. I am a positive, optimistic person. At least I try to be. And so I look at the positive and I'm trying to make it seem like HR is for the people more so than it is for the company, but it's looking like it's not really that. I loved this class. I thought it was going to be boring. I really, really loved this class and learning everything. And the effective human resources management, which is 51% of the assessment, I got competent on. The motivational concepts in human resources, which is 21% of the assessment, I got exemplary in. So I got 11 out of the 70 questions incorrect, and those mostly came from that strategic human resource management. But luckily, it's only 14% of the assessment, so I feel like if I don't study up on that, I'll be fine during the OA. I will study up on it because I just tried to schedule my OA, and I was under the impression that you can schedule a test at whatever time you want to. I just assume that there's proctors available 24/7. I mean, I heard that people sometimes do it at midnight. Some people do it at 4 in the morning. I had to schedule it for Tuesday, December 10th at 8:20 p.m. I'm sure if I were able to schedule it today, I would have passed the class and I would have been done in 2 days. That's crazy. Now I know for future OAs, I will schedule a couple days out, and then if I need to reschedule, I need to reschedule, but at least I'd have that set. But I just don't like waiting, because now I feel like, okay, what if I forget some of this information, or I feel like I need to keep studying? Yes, I can work on my other class, which is, I think, the marketing class. I'm honestly not sure. I don't want to overwhelm myself with too many classes, and I'm on a pretty good track right now, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I will say with ProctorU, which is the test proctoring service that WGU uses, I don't know if you guys are aware of that. I wasn't when I first applied to WGU. I didn't realize that they used a specific proctoring services. I just thought that somebody from WGU proctored it, like your instructor, which I think that's how it should be. ProctorU has some really negative rep because apparently they're not a very easy proctoring service to use. The software that we have to use, which is Guardian, you have to download it to your computer. Some people are concerned with privacy and safety and all that jazz. And then some people say that while they're taking a test, it completely shuts down and they have to reschedule and take it again. Information isn't saved. They have to be transferred to different proctors a bunch of different times. It's a lot of stuff. I did a system check before scheduling the OA just to make sure that everything was fine. It did say that my computer wasn't good, like the actual computer. It shows a little picture of a computer. It had an X by it. Everything else was fine, but it said that one wasn't good because of my memory. My RAM was too high. It was at like 99% and they require 90%. So all I had to do was shut down all of the apps that I had active that I wasn't using. And then I went down and it was positive and everything was pretty good to go. Then when I tried actually scheduling the test, I thought I had to do it within ProctorU itself because it asks you, do you want to schedule an assessment? I had already put in what my university is. I thought I had to do it from there. When I went to schedule the assessment, in the drop down asking you what your university was would not allow me to select anything. WGU was not coming up. So I wanted to talk to an agent, tried to look for a number, couldn't look for a number, couldn't find one, I ended up trying to use that chat assistant feature and I was in the queue. I was number 4 and then it told me, sorry, higher chat volume than usual. Do you want to stay in the queue? By that time, I had realized you schedule your tests through the WGU student portal in the actual classroom itself. Once you're ready to do your assessment, there's a section that says schedule. You click that, you go to a different page. Once you go there, it'll also say, do you want to schedule your assessment? You'll go ahead and enter in the time through WGU's assessment center. Through the assessment center is where you'll also reschedule the exam. I will also say from experience this time that I had to keep refreshing the pages because when I originally took the pre-assessment, going back to the pre-assessment, when I took the pre-assessment, it was saying that I completed the pre-assessment, I'd received a notification, but nothing was showing up. Prior to the pre-assessment, it said that the results would appear in my degree plan. Went to my degree plan, nothing was there. Went back to the classroom, nothing was there. Refresh, refresh, refresh. After 5 minutes, it was finally in my actual classroom. I never saw it in my degree plan. I actually haven't gone back to check, but whatever, it's in my classroom anyway, so no need. Then with the OA, when I scheduled the appointment, I went back to the classroom. It still asked me if I wanted to schedule. I kept clicking because I wanted to actually reschedule to see if maybe somebody had dropped a test time for today and I would be able to take the test today. So I tried to reschedule. It said the system was down. I had to refresh and then it finally said that my OA was scheduled. It's a little tricky. I'll tell you what. I've been noticing that the software that WGU uses not efficient. And if you don't have a lot of patience with technology, I can see why you would get frustrated with WGU and ProctorU. Just be mindful of that. Make sure that once you're taking your tests, give yourself some time to get acquainted with all of the different pages, the different software requirements. Make sure you test your technology beforehand, your software. Make sure you go through and figure out how to schedule a test. Schedule your tests prior to the day that you want to do it because there might be days you either can't take it or there's just no times available any longer. And honestly, that's all I have to say. Anyway, if anything pops up between now and Tuesday, I'll go ahead and update you all. Doubt anything will unless I have to reschedule. I will see y'all on Tuesday. Bye! You guys are not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this, but it is December 8th at 9 p.m. It is Sunday, December 8th at 9 p.m. Last time I spoke to you, it was about 4 p.m. I had tried to schedule my OA, and all I had gotten were Tuesday at 8 o'clock times. Thank God I am in that WGU Accelerators Facebook group because I told them what was going on. One person said, that is the exact same thing that happened to me. I called the assessment people and they said there's an issue. They're doing some type of system thing where the times are not appearing, but if you keep refreshing, they'll eventually appear. So I went to reschedule my OA again. I started refreshing. I exited out. I logged back in. It sucks that you do have to go through all of those hoops. I refreshed again and finally new times appeared. It was what time was it? 6:19 and there was a time slot available for 6:20 and my fiance was like, do it. do it now. But I wanted to go through the PA again. I wanted to take it a second time. When I did the PA, I did get exemplary, but I didn't feel like it really helped me in any way because the questions were all the same. What I will say is, when I got to the OA proper test, I felt like I was failing the entire thing. I felt like I was failing the entire thing. I think it's because in the beginning I had test anxiety, so my heart was beating super fast. I started sweating, but throughout it started with the test anxiety. I started getting a lot more calm by the time I got to the end. I then circled back to the beginning and I started reviewing my answers. I went to the ones, I bookmarked them, the ones that I wasn't really sure about, went through them. I ended up being more sure about them. And then I started tallying the ones I thought I was going to get wrong. I ended up passing. I ended up getting exemplary, which was shocking to me. It was absolutely shocking. And when the guy left, the proctor, when he left, and when I had seen my test results finally, because they don't pop up on the screen when you finish the test. You have to log out of ProctorU, you have to go back into your WGU portal, and then you see your results. I logged back in, saw my results, and I screamed. I screamed and I wept, releasing all of the emotion that was in my body. I was very, very relieved that I'd passed the class because the questions in the test for some reason were a lot more confusing than the ones on the PA, and I don't know if maybe I was psyching myself out a lot because when I went back, the questions were a lot more straightforward. There were some concepts in there and I wouldn't be able to even tell you what they were. I hadn't learned them. Like, I knew the foundation of it, but I didn't know the specifics of it, if that makes sense. I wish this told you an exact percentage of what you got right and what you got wrong, and the results and how many you got right and got wrong. For the legal and regulatory requirements, which is 13% of the assessment, I got exemplary. For strategic human resource management, which is 14% of the assessment, exemplary. Effective human resource management, exemplary. And then motivational concepts in human resources, it says I'm competent, which is 21% of the assessment. And I didn't say this, but effective human resource management is 51% of the assessment. So make sure you have that down. Oh my goodness. I took a screenshot of my results because I just could not believe it. Couldn't believe it. Now I want to talk about ProctorU because unlike most people, I guess from what I've seen, I had an amazing experience. My proctor was so nice, it was so easy, and everything went so smoothly. I took the pictures like I was supposed to. I was connected to a proctor immediately. He was very responsive in the chat. Just like that, I started my exam. Once I got through with it, I told him I was going to submit. He then came on the speakers and he said, okay, you can submit your exam. Finally submitted. He said, all right, bye. Can you do the survey at the end of this? And I typed up, I was very happy with my proctor experience. Give this man a raise. Can I get him for every test that I do? Is exactly what I put. Great experience with them. Great experience with that proctor specifically. And I hope that happens every single time because that's set a very high bar and expectation for ProctorU from my experience. A lot of people say they have issues with the Guardian thing that pops up. It's an application that you have to download. Oh, they say it crashes. I think what you might have to do is, yes, run the tests, the system tests, and then make sure that you close any apps you're not using. And once you get into your tests, the proctor will have you sign into your WGU portal and they'll help you start the assessment. I could not for the life of me sign into my portal because where it was asking me my username, I was putting my email and then it locked me out. So he had to physically go into my computer, allow me access again to log into my class. So that was embarrassing. But finally, when I realized, okay, username, not email, I was able to log in and everything went smoothly. But yeah, that was my experience. C202. I've completed 2 classes in a matter of a week. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this class in particular or any other classes or my experience with anything, post a comment down below and then I'll get back to you, or maybe I'll make a video about it. Next week's video is going to be on me completing C204, which is the next class, which let me look what that is. It's management communication. I think there's 2 PAs, no OAs, which I'm not very excited about because now that I see how quickly I can get through an OA class, the PAs take me much longer due to the research that I have to put into getting all the sources and doing the outlines and whatnot. So hopefully that class goes quickly. Make sure you subscribe so you can see all of the videos that are to come, so you can keep up with my journey. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!